The question on everybody's mind, though, is what the hell is with Tim Carey? I mean, I'm just going to jump right to that, because this is a guy who can overact with his socks, which you actually saw in the last shot of the film, right?
In one of Tim Carey's last movies, Fast Walking, a James B. Harris movie, he was thrown to his death off a tier in, you guessed it, a prison. He was supposed to be dead, and he started gesticulating from the grave. 1 take, 2 takes, 3 takes, 4 takes. He was in the overrated Stanley Kubrick Andy War flick, Paths of Glory, and when Kirk Douglas was making his moving plea for the lives of the 3 deserters, he was sticking his fingers in his ears and mugging. Kirk Douglas kicked his ass.
Kazan actually stabbed him with a ballpoint pen on the set of East of Eden when he was playing the pimp in the brothel where Joe Van Fleet worked, and he mumbled all of his lines. Of course, you always know that Tim Carey does a clenched tooth thing when he delivers his dialogue, and he kept doing this in the film, and Kazan didn't really understand why, and he said, "Because that's the way pimps talk." And he kept doing this, and they couldn't get a decent recording of it at all, and finally Kazan just stabbed him with a ballpoint pen in the shoulder, which I assume Carey took as like the highest compliment about his performance in the film.
Near the end of his life, Timothy Carey was asked if he had any regrets, and he said, yeah, that I wasn't a Negro.
Has anybody in this theater seen The World's Greatest Singer? Okay, that is a film that is so far ahead of and behind everything. It exists completely in another plane of reality. If you have not seen it, but that's a restoration that needs to be done if there's anything left. But I believe his last great unfinished work was Tweet's Ladies of Pasadena, which was about a gardener whose dream is to clothe all the animals in the world, and he actually kills people with his lethal flatulence. This was Carey's great idea was that he would shoot the film, it would have 1 screening, and it would go from the projector straight into a shredder, at which point the film would be blown out over the audience in a hail of celluloid confetti after the 1 screening. So,
Eddie, here's my big question about Timothy Carey, who died in his 70s not long ago. He only made about 10 movies, maybe 14, 15, 16. How the hell did he earn a living all those years? He lived in El Monte out in the San Gabriel Valley, parenthetically the town my mother was murdered in 1958.
What was Tim Carey doing at that time?
He had an alibi for June 22nd, 1958, I've been told. And he doesn't fit the composite of the suspects. Other than that, I would have framed him.